Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All Educational Videos channel. Today I will try to explain how and when to use GML visual block, which is called Set Instance Rotation. In previous video we have learned how to use Create Instance block and what is the difference between objects and instances and how you create instances from objects. So simplest way again to remember it is to think about object as cookie cutter and all the instances of it, which can be endless, as cookies. Now we can see that on our game where we have one player which can move left and right and create instances of obj egg on the screen, so I can create as many of those instances on my screen as I want, and it works fine. But for example, if you're making the game for someone else, or it doesn't matter, for yourself, and someone says, okay, it can be in game studio, it can be your producer, your art lead, and so on, and he can say, okay, I like this feature, but I don't like how this egg is always showing up the same on the screen. So it's always straight up and same color, same size, same rotation. So change that a little bit so our game will look a little bit more different and more interesting, and this way it looks like everything is the same. I don't like that. Okay, that sounds good, that sounds realistic, like a good idea. So let's try to change that. So I want to change my instance of the egg to look different, to in my first case to rotate a little bit different, and because I'm working with instances on the screen, I will try to find that where I will try to find it here on my instances group of blocks, and here it is in third row, second from the right, from the left, sorry, set instance rotation. It's a blue block, but again, what do I want to change? Do I want to change my player, or do I want to change my egg? I think I want to change my egg. That's what we have agreed on. So if I, for example, forget that, or just don't think about it and click and drag this set instance rotation into my obj player instead of obj egg, let's see what happens. And let's first of all, let's change that angle is 45, for example. By default is 0, so no rotation. Yeah, first of all I have to change this one to to become more sharp. Angle by default, set instance rotation angle is by default is 0. Let me try 45. So again, I'm not thinking here, I'm just doing it fast and stupid, and when I press E, yeah, it works, but it works on my player. So my player is now rotated 45 degrees. I don't want to do that. I will click on this X and delete this action. So I want to find my obj egg. Where is it? If you cannot find it, just click it here. Yeah. Okay, my obj egg, it doesn't have any code here, so that's what I was explaining earlier. So you can have some kind of simple or decorative objects on your screen which are just there to make your game prettier, or I don't know, more visually interesting, but without code. Or you can think, okay, I will add the code later, and so on. So this game works like this, even if my obj egg instance, it doesn't have any code. So GameMaker doesn't care about that. I can draw some shapes here. But now I want to add some code. I want to add code rotate. Rotate this instance of this object, but when do I want that rotation to happen? Do I want it to happen all the time? Like, do I want my eggs rotate like in space and time, like all the time, like roller coaster ride? I don't know. No, I want it to rotate only once, so I have to pick create event instead of step. If I pick step and rotate, you can see that, you will see that later, but let me try first with step. So I want to find instances, set instance rotation 45. Okay, let me see. Now my eggs will be rotated 45 degrees. Yeah, it works simple as that. So yeah, it looks better now, more realistic, that eggs are like that maybe. But again, when I click few times and create lots of them, they again look the same. They are rotated, but I don't want all of them to be rotated. So how to do it? Again, we have explained it earlier, but let me go to this image again just to make a real world example. Imagine I'm making cookies with this cookie cutter. So this cookie cutter is my object. These cookies are my instances, and for example, you have a couple of kids or friends, and one kid wants cookies with chocolate. You say, okay, I will make cookies with chocolate, but other says, okay, I want vanilla. Okay, so you have to separate them, to divide them, and so on. So same thing here. We want our base shape, our base object to be egg, but we want them to look a little bit different, to have different taste, like chocolate, vanilla. In this case, it's rotation. So different. You can make it different in real world by, as I just said, by using your choice, your idea. I will make 10 cookies with vanilla, 5 with chocolate, 3 with strawberry, and so on. But you can also make them like that in game, but you can also use random, which I will use now because it is faster and it will look more realistic for my game. So I'm typing random in my toolbox search field, random, and I need randomize. We have explained that earlier, and get random number. So I will click and drag randomize, GameMaker Studio drag and drop block, the first one, and the second one, get random number. So 2 blocks here. Why? Because because this randomized block, I have explained that earlier, it's like seeding your random number generator. That's like some kind of engine in your game engine which makes numbers random, and if you don't use this randomize, they will always look the same. They will always be like 5, 5, 5, or 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, all the same row, same array of numbers, and we don't want that. We want them to shuffle, to make them random. So I have to use that randomize first, and then I will say, okay, what random number do I want? Do I want decimal or integer? I don't care very much for this example. And what will be the minimum and maximum of my number? In my case, OBJs can instances of the OBJs can rotate on the screen in GameMaker and in other game engines like Scratch, Unreal, whatever. In mathematics, they can rotate 360 degrees. 360 is full circle, so I will put work space get random number drag and drop block. I will put minimum 0, that is the starting point, and the maximum is 360, or I can make 359 or whatever you like, but full circle is 360. And target variable, I clicked on this, yeah, it needs to have any kind of value. Again, don't get confused by this variable target and temp, we don't need that. I have explained that earlier when I was explaining get random number, but so far we are not going to use it. What we need here, we just need random number. This is randomized, make a random number and make that random number between 0 and 360. Yeah, I was wrong, we will use that here probably. Yeah. Okay, so once again, this time slower. First, I said to GameMaker, I want random number, make it random. Okay, that was randomized. The second step was, what kind of number do you want? What is the limit? I said I want decimal between 0 and 360 because that's the full circle, and I need my instance to rotate in circle, and I want that stored in some kind of variable which I will call variable rotate instance rotate inst rot. So I have called this variable var, yeah, I will zoom it, var inst underscore rot, var inst rot, for variable instance rotation short. Store that number in that variable, and I say use that variable. The variable is container for numbers, strings, text, images, objects, and so on. So I have stored some kind of random number between 0 and 360, and I will use that number here, where for my angle. So again, what have I done here? I have just used couple of drag and drop GameMaker blocks to say to my instance of egg object on the screen, when it is created, to use random number between 0 and 360 to put it in variable, and then use that variable to rotate my image on the screen. So again, you don't have to use this for some of your games, but it's very common, so that's why I have explained it. 15 minutes, not bad. So let's see that in action and see if it works. So now when I press my button E on my keyboard, the egg should be created below my white square player, and it should be created in random rotation. So let's try it. I pressed it, let's see. Okay, no, yes, it works, but it's giving me some similar shapes. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, this one is better, this one is more likely. So, oh, this one is cool. This one, yeah, I thought maybe it doesn't work for horizontal, but it works. So yeah, I like this much better. So there you have it. You have a random numbers combined with rotation, and that's how you create more interesting shapes on the screen. One more thing to try here, I will copy this one and add event step just to show you. Oh, I have copied just randomize instead of, yeah, I will have to do it. I think there is no click and drag. What I'm doing right now is I'm just copying all the code here from my create event, which is done once only. So I want my egg to be created in rotation, random rotation once and stay like that. But if you want that to change in time, like rotate every second, I will disable this code here, and you can disable it all. Oh, I disabled the wrong, no, I will create. It's cool. And now I will try to see how it works with step. I think now it will rotate all the time, and that's just an example how step and create events are different in, yeah, it looks like crazy egg, but maybe you will need some of those. Yeah. It can be somewhat useful for your game, like I don't know, some kind of chaos engine. I like it this way. I have just wanted to show you how you can use same code in in create event and step event, and it will make different look on the screen. It will do stuff differently. Sometimes you will do that by accident, by error. Sometimes you will do it by purpose, by idea, and sometimes even your accident can give you good ideas. But I just wanted to show you that you can use all of those blocks, random, instance, rotation, create instance, in all of those different events, and you will get different stuff, different looks. That's it for this video. See you in next one.